Ernest Mino, the details now. The Electricity Company of Ghana says it will not back down on its decision to install prepaid meters in the Yilo Krobo and Manya Krobo municipalities. The two municipalities have been without power for 2 weeks, leaving businesses, healthcare, and other essential services nearly grinding to a halt. The Eastern Regional Security Council yesterday revealed there's a special military team to carry out intelligence assessment ahead of the next phase of installation of prepaid meters by the ECG. Sete Champon is Eastern Regional Minister.
Our best option to have an amicable settlement is to allow the 48 Engineers Regiment, who are tech savvy and have the potential to be able to equally protect property and also protect life, so we have peace and overall public safety. This is what I think will help all of us.
Is the 48th Regiment, are they on the ground as we speak tonight?
As we speak, they are on their way, recceing, and so they are doing a recce on all the lines to be sure that no lines are broken.
Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Mahama, says power will only be restored when residents accept to allow the installation of prepaid meters.
Power. If I'm to turn them back on, how am I going to transmit the power to turn them back on? When they've cut down the line, they were cutting their nose to spite their face.
So what's the bottom line here, Sam?
The bottom line is...
What would you agree
between you and I, as a matter of urgency,
when it comes to this matter?
As a matter of urgency and to show goodwill and good faith, the line, the wood pole they cut down, I've reinstalled it. It's up and running. I want to show them that I'm not petty. I am here to run a business.
So what would you do and what would you reject? My
point is, the going prepaid is not negotiable. They shouldn't for a second believe that the prepaid, because right now you are in darkness. You need your businesses. Just take the prepaid and pay. And let me now have the responsibility of monitoring to see whether you have bypassed the meter or not, or whether the meter readings are right. It makes my work easier. It makes your work easier. You prepay for what you use. So for me, in all truth and fairness, as we've started, that's for the army. They are not going anywhere because I need them. I need them because it's also for the morale of my employees. My employees don't feel safe. These are people's parents. These are people's parents who work in the middle of the night. The story of ECG has not been told and hasn't been told properly.
Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Mahama there. Simon Tete is MC for Yilo and Manya Krobo, and he joins us on the line. Mr. Tete, we know that you have been participating in a series of meetings to find lasting solution to this. What is the latest?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your listeners. It's rather unfortunate, but several engagements have gone on, various stakeholders. We are still engaging, including ECG, National Security, Ministry of Energy, and our regional minister is also deeply involved. Myself and my colleagues from Midday, we have formed federal groups that are also engaging the opinion leaders, and very soon we'll find a lasting solution to this problem.
And so do you get the sense, Mr. Tete, that the residents are softening their stance on the need to accept the prepaid meters, which the ECG says is non-negotiable if power is to be restored to the areas?
That is the sense we are getting. So various engagements are still ongoing. And at the appropriate time, I believe the various stakeholders will come out on the roadmap agreement.
Health facilities have been reeling under the impact of this power cut. How is the situation being managed?
Yes, I engage the various administrators of the various health facilities. It has not been easy for them, but what we need now is the light back. And we are just appealing to the residents to remain calm whilst we solve these problems within the shortest possible time.
Thank you very much. We'll leave it here. That's the MCE for Yilo and Manya Krobo, Simon Tete. They're bringing us up to speed with the situation in the area, trying to resolve the impasse between the residents and the ECG. But we can now hear from the MD of the ECG, Samuel Mahama, who says that he expects the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to announce tariffs that will enable the company carry out its mandate effectively. The ECG is asking for more than 100% increase in electricity tariffs.
For that, I'm not really part of their desk. But when the work of tariff is to let them know what the real and actual situation out there is. And then they can now decide on what would be meaningful for the people of Ghana. Let's not forget, in certain parts of the world, if it's 148, it's 148. We'll get it. If you don't want to use electricity, they'll tell you, they'll point you somewhere else in certain parts of the world. But the truth of the matter is this. PRC reserves the right, and I don't want to encroach. I don't even want to be suggestive.
Let's hope it's granted. What assurance will you give us that, that your performance will be better?
My main aim is to reduce my losses. Reduction in losses would bring in more revenue.
Do you care about your customers at all?
I do.
That's Samuel Mahama. He's the MD for the Electricity Company of Ghana. He spoke on The Hard Truth with Akosia Kunedu on the Johnny's channel. The manufacturing sector of the country could collapse unless government takes urgent steps to address the concerns of the Association of Ghana Industries. Key among them is the depreciation of the Ghana cedi against the major trading currencies. In fact, the AGI is warning its members may resort to import instead of manufacturing if the situation persists. The effect of this will be layoffs and reduction in tax revenue for government. President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Asemdake, who disclosed this at the Graphic Business Breakfast Forum, said that his members are reeling under the severe economic challenges.
And we keep saying, once the policy is wrong, manufacturers will not fight government. We'll only go back and enjoy the free and we'll all start importing. Because they might have more resources than the average retail importer. And that will distort the economy, distort your cedi, the cyclical issues will keep going. We're just wondering and only praying that the exchange rates will not hit 12 cedis by the end of year, considering the rate at which it's going. The foundation and the structure, it's a challenge. Decision makers are given power to direct. And over the years, 30 years and beyond, the inability to create jobs over 30 years as a result of the unwillingness of successive governments to deliberately champion the agri-value chain, the various value chain from the auto industry, the aluminum integrated lines, the inertia of government. Is it the fear of the people? Is it the fear of the voter? Is it a leadership concern? That should be, government has the mandate and the obligation to create the right environment. And if they do not, well, you do not blame the citizens, but you look at the bigger picture. The right policies is what we need to champion and hold government to it to make sure right policies are set and given the time of gestation, maturity, and growth. There's one big challenge, and I believe we need to pose it back to the president of the land. In the era of the COVID, he made a very fantastic statement that resonated around the world. And he says, we do not know how to restore lives. And I'm paraphrasing. However, we know how to restore the economy. These words of his has come back for him to live beyond it and establish that, yes, we know how to restore the said economy.
Dr. Humphrey Dake is the president of the AGI. Director of Research at the Institute of Economic Affairs, Dr. John Kwachi, says the debt situation continues to swallow the country's revenue.
In fact, we are in a situation where we have accumulated a large amount of domestic payment arrears also. We have arrears to contractors, we have arrears to the statutory funds, we have arrears to national service personnel, we have arrears to NAPCOP, we have arrears to nursing trainees, arrears to teacher trainees. So we have accumulated a substantial amount of domestic payment arrears. We are also told, when the IMF visited recently, that they issued a statement that we may be close to not being able to meet even our external debt payments. Now, our sovereign debt has been downgraded by credit rating agencies. Investors are disinvesting from our bonds. In fact, IEA, we have done some work, collected reliable information that is showing that we are sitting on natural resource wealth that is valued in total over $10 trillion. I have the information, okay? But what we are even exploiting now, we give 80% away to foreigners and we take 20% at most. In some cases, we are even getting much less. So that is where Ghana is not a poor country. We are very rich. We are a very rich country, except that we are not exploiting our own natural resources and capacities, to transform this economy.
Also at the breakfast forum was a board member of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Eric Osesibe, who is blaming weak leadership and lack of foresight for the state of the Ghanaian economy.
We seem to be within a vicious cycle of debt, fiscal deficit, interest payments. Because what happens when we spend more than what we generate as a country, it means that we have to borrow. But the key issue for us as a country has been the interest payments. The interest payment is overwhelming because these interest payments, which is about a third of our expenditure, okay, and about 50% of our tax revenue, mean that we are just crowding ourselves out. The issue has been that over the years, we have not sought to build a strong, a very resilient, a diversified economy. So we seem to be moving in circles, as I mentioned, in a vicious cycle. We put one foot forward as a nation, then we take 2 foot backward. So we don't seem to be making enough progress.
In a related development, Ghana's annual inflation rate accelerated for the 14th straight month to 31.7% in July. That's up from 29.8% in June, breaching the upper ceiling of the central bank's target of 6% to 10% for 11 months. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has reiterated his government's commitment towards ensuring access to justice by poor citizens facing legal trial at the courts. Now, according to him, a proper function of the rule of law is essential, that has to be addressed. The president was speaking at the launch of the Law Reform Commission and Legal Aid Commission funds while announcing a personal donation of 200,000 Ghana cedis.
A proper functioning of the law is a vital tool for development of any country. One of the key priorities for government is to build a modern legal and justice system in Ghana. Even though the challenges we face are many, the promotion of the rule of law is of the utmost importance and cannot take a back seat no matter the current circumstances. It is necessary for government to lend its support to institutions whose objectives promote the cause of the people.
Let's stay a while longer with the president because he's been accused of meddling in the upcoming Nigerian elections and has even written to the All Progressive Congress leader Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for him to step aside and give Peter Obi a chance. The president has been reacting to this. And presidential correspondent Elton Brobe joins me in the studio with the details. Elton, what more do we know?
So this is a tweet from the president. It says that my attention has been drawn to a disturbing post making the rounds on social media where it is alleged that I have written to the 2023 presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to give Peter Obi a chance and seek treatment for his health. He says that this is completely false and mischievous with no iota of truth whatsoever. I have written no such letter to the APC leader and would not occur to me to do so. Ghana and Nigeria boast of decades of cordial, strong and brotherly relations, and I'm not going to be the one to interfere in the internal affairs and politics of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. That's presidential correspondent Elton Brobe. Let me take you now to the Ashanti region. A policeman stationed at Bomso and a final year student of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have been denied bail by the Asokore Mampon District Court for an alleged rape. Lance Corporal Frank Edu-Poku, who has since been interdicted, and Joel Osei-Wusu are standing trial for allegedly raping a first-year female student of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology on July 19. The two, who were remanded into prison custody on the 28th of July 2022, were denied bail again when they made their second appearance before court. It followed a strong opposition to the bail filed by lawyers of the two by the prosecution. The development comes as prosecution told the court a duplicate docket has been sent to the Attorney General's office for advice. My colleague Ohimin Teria, who has been following this, joins us on the line with more. Ohimin, bring us up to speed with what happened in court today.
Thank you, Ernest. The Attorney General, represented by the prosecutor, ACP Kofi Blagoji told the court that the duplicate docket has been sent to the AG's office for advice, and prosecution still awaits the advice from the AG. Then immediately the defense counsel rose and then argued that it is time for their clients to be granted bail. First, it was the lawyer for the second accused, the interdicted police officer, Toku Yabua Akuwia, who said once the docket has been sent to the AG's office, it's an indication that police have completed investigations and that his clients need to be given that freedom. Then came the lawyer for the student, who also argued that the student is a final year student and then is due to write his final year exams. Then it was at that time that the lawyer for KNUST, who hinted the prosecutor that the KNUST as an institution has activated processes to also dismiss or perhaps discipline the students involved. So there's no truth in the issue that indeed he will be writing his final year exams. So it was at this court that the magistrate, His Worship, Boabin Kwanza, told the court that he cannot grant the two accused persons bail. Perhaps besides the arguments being, expanded by the two, the defense counsel and the prosecutor, what it means is that the court lacks jurisdiction. The district court to grant the
bail. But the police has also been explaining the reason behind the interdiction of the officer.
Yes, ACP Blagoji did explain, meaning that the police as an institution will not condone to indiscipline acts and want to win itself of the negative, name being brought by the police officer. We can't.
Police administration will not shall anybody who tries to have the name of the police service to disrepute. Our image is very, very important to us. So anybody who you find yourself in these issues of this sort, the administration will quickly take action on it. And then the police administration did that by interdicting the officer.
And you had the police speaking on the issue of rape involving a police officer and a student of the KNUST. Let's tell you some other stories. Now, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has hit back at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, refuting claims of corruption against some of its officials in the case of the La Bianca Food Company. Commissioner of Customs, Colonel Retired Kwejo Damwa, insists the report of the Special Prosecutor was released with malicious intent to discredit the customs officers. The report, signed by the Special Prosecutor Kisi Jabin, alleged that the influence peddling by Ms. Asomahene, who is Council Member of State member, led to the reduction in the tax liabilities for her frozen foods company, La Bianca Company Limited.
Since 3 days ago, what has been happening? A report reporting or coming from the Office of the Special Prosecutor trying to indict the Deputy Commissioner of Police and myself. And if anybody who has read that report very well will know the basis of that. And luckily for me, God is always on my side. Before that report came, that person had made a statement to some people who had come to them. He was going to publish something that will discredit me, and he will do that. And I even sent people to go and tell him that he's a smoker. I'm older than him. I have lived a meaningful life. If he attempts to destroy me, it won't be easy for him. People have tried it. I have survived, and this one I'll survive.
And you had the Commissioner, the Customs Division, speaking to us there. He is Colonel Retired Kwejo Damwa. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll bring you Sports Plus. It is imagined that close to 50% of total production of the Ghana Water Company Limited are used without payment. We have details after this break. Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time now for sports. Razak is here with the very latest.
Yes, Ernest, despite winning bronze in the 200 meters, Joseph Paul Amwa is yet to get over the unforced disqualification of the men's 4x100 relay team for the final. Ghana's 4x100 relay team secured an automatic qualification to the final of the event, but missed out because team coaches failed to update the list of Ghana's athletes representing. Joe tell Joy Sports medaling in the event was very possible, but he can't lay blames on anyone.
I didn't know what happened. I thought it was just a lane infringement, but only to hear that it was the whole, registration, and I was very down. Honestly, I was very down. But I mean, like I said, I had a race later in the day. Benjamin also told me, just focus on what's ahead. It's already done. We were still trying to, fight through to see if we could, get reinstated, but track and field is very technical nowadays. Like the little things could take so much. Sometimes you just got to be vigilant and know that there are new things coming up in track. Like there are new rules, new everything. So honestly, we felt like we're going to get going. We felt like we were going to get going. So even though we didn't have the same team from Eugene, we believed in whoever was going to take the fourth spot on the team. And we knew what we had going into the competition, and we knew we were going to do it.
So that's Joseph Paul Amos speaking there. And as on Friday, there's going to be a comprehensive review of Ghana's performance at the Commonwealth Games. So just stay tuned to Joy News and all our socials. You will be posted on all of that.
Thank you very much, Razak, for bringing us sports. Now, this afternoon, it's imagined that close to 50% of the total production of the Ghana Water Company Limited are used without payment. The company has for years been dealing with a high incidence of non-revenue in leakages, theft, and illegal connections. All of this is coming at a time where another utility company, the ECG, is on the heels of residents of Yilo and Manya Krobo municipalities over their failure to pay for the power they use. Let's go live and speak to Manuel Cranton, who has been covering the news conference for us. Manuel, what are the details of these losses being recorded by the company?
Well, so Ernest, we were told by the managing director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Dr. Brima Clifford, that a total of about 46% of the entire production as of year ending 2021 of the company were non-revenue. That means that they were used or went without payment. And in this includes leakages, includes illegal, connections, and then also theft. And as of 2021, the total sales stood at 172.7 million in metric tons and in cubic meters, I beg your pardon. And that is the water that actually was sold in 2021. That was represented just 54% of the entire money that came to them, Ernest.
And how are they seeking to address this issue?
In fact, the managing director actually said that what we're going to see is an elevation of the issue of theft of its water to a national security matter. It is also deploying social media and digital platforms to be able to bill and collect its money without having to necessarily encounter customers. So include smart meters being deployed and drones also being deployed.
Manuel Cranton there. Time now for Joy News Agenda. And road users of the Bole Sola Wa Highway are worried about the delay in fixing the highway, though government secured $150 million to fund it. Portions of that stretch with bitumen surface is replete with potholes, and the residents link it to the many accidents recorded there. Our West correspondent Rafik Salam reports.
Majority Leader in Parliament, Osei Chairman Sabonsu, at a Thanksgiving service for Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumanakis for Gabin, made an emphatic statement about government's plan to rehabilitate this road.
Government has agreed and indeed secured a facility of $250 million United States dollars to construct the road from Bole Sola up to Wa. It's $250 million. And I believe that in the next couple of months, you will see that the Minister for Roads and Highways will be here to do the commissioning of the project. The first part that has been secured is $150 million.
It's been exactly 60 months since the majority leader of parliament, Ose Chairman Sobonsu, made the announcement on government's plan to fix the over 200 kilometers Bole Solar Highway. Since then, there have not been an inch of blade of improvement on the road. The cruel reality, however, is that the road has further deteriorated with the bituminous surface paving way for pot and manholes. Residents living closer to the road and commuters now bear the brunt of the dust, bumpy and deplorable road.
A little over 2 years ago, they came and scraped certain portions of the road, as you can see. We thought that as soon as they did the scraping, they were going to come to fix it and to put bitumen. Unfortunately, more than 1 year, getting to 2 years down the line, we are not seeing anything, and it's just affecting us. A journey that normally would take 30 minutes takes you 1.5 hours to complete. It's so frustrating.
From Kumasi to Wa, we are supposed to do half a day, but now for the past 3 days, I have been on this road. What is worrying us are the potholes.
Rafiq Salam filed that report for Joy News Agenda and in the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story this hour, Electricity Company of Ghana vows it will restore power to Yilo and Manya Krobo municipalities when residents accept to allow installation of prepaid meters in all homes. We'll leave you with the sound of Kes Daniel, who is compensating residents of Tanzania with a free show. Listen.